Lebanon, Israel, and Jordan. When we look at Turkey, the most interesting physical feature that they have there is a very narrow waterway that separates both Europe from Asia. This waterway is made up of three bodies of water known as the Dardanelles, which is right in this area, the Bosporus, which is this small canal that separates Turkey right there in what's nowadays Istanbul, and the Sea of Marmara, this body of water right here. The Bosphorus splits the country of Turkey into two parts. A small part of Turkey lies in Europe, and the rest of it lies in part of the Asian continent. When we look at rivers and lakes, there are also some very interesting features in this eastern Mediterranean area. The Jordan River begins in Syria, you can see it right here, and flows south through Israel and Jordan. The river empties into a large lake called the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea gets its name because it is extremely salty and only bacteria can live in its waters. The Dead Sea is actually a lake, and it's the world's saltiest lake. The surface of the lake sits around 1,300 feet below sea level, the lowest point on any continent. Some facts about the Dead Sea are that Egyptian queen Cleopatra, she loved the Dead Sea so much that she ordered that cosmetic factories and resorts be built along its shores. The Dead Sea is filled with minerals including calcium, iodine, saline, potassium, and bromide. Egyptians used the mud from the Dead Sea in their mummification process of the deceased. The climate of the Dead Sea region is very sunny and warm and dry all year round. So, it has become a resort area for people to go to and use this mud to kind of cleanse their skin and make them feel youthful again. During the 20th century, the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered in this region. These scrolls are ancient writings of the Essenes. The Dead Sea is over 3 million years old. Other physical features in the region are mountains and plains. There are two main mountain systems that stretch across Turkey. In the northeastern part of the country, we have the Pontic Mountains. And in the southern part, right along the border of the Mediterranean, we have the Taurus Mountains. Just south of Turkey into Syria lies a very narrow plain, this region right here. The Euphrates River flows southeast from Turkey through the plains of Syria and beyond. Farther inland lies plateaus, hills, and valleys. A rift valley that begins in Africa extends northward and into Syria. The climate and vegetation of this region is mostly dry. There are some important variations in the climate. If we look at the map on page 199 in our textbook, or here on this screen, we can see the different variations of the climate. Parts of this region, in the Black Sea area and the Mediterranean coast of Turkey, all have a Mediterranean-style climate. As we get into the interior of Turkey, we have more of a steppe climate. Central Syria and the lands further south have more of a very dry and desert climate. The region's driest areas are its deserts. Much of Syria and Jordan are covered in the Syrian desert. This desert usually receives less than 5 inches of rainfall a year. In southern Israel, the Negev has temperatures that reach a high of 114 degrees Fahrenheit. The annual rainfall totals in the Negev average about only 2 inches per year. The natural resources of this area are limited. Because they have a dry climate, water is very, very important for these people. The region is also, most of the people who live in this region are farmers. They lack the oil resources of the rest of the Middle East, but they do have some other valuable minerals. The availability of water limits how land can be used. Commercial farms can only grow crops where there's rain or irrigation provides enough water. In drier areas, we have subsistence farming. That's farming only enough for your family. And livestock herding. Those things are common. In the desert areas, available water supports a few nomadic herders, but very, very little farming. Mineral resources include sulfur, mercury, and copper. Syria, Israel, and Jordan all produce phosphates, or mineral salts that contain phosphorus. Phosphates can be used to make fertilizers. This region also produces a large amount of asphalt. That sums up our section on physical resources of the Eastern Mediterranean.